Hello, how's it going? My name is Bluepaw and welcome back to Pokemon Showdown. Now before we get started, if you can, please show some Bluepaw power to that like button down below. I really appreciate it. Now, let's get into the battle. So, looking at my opponent's team, you can see he's bringing largely UU and RU stuff, such as that Registeel, I think Amoonguss, Entei is definitely UU, and Mew is too. So, a very bold move on my opponent's part, but actually, a lot of those Pokemon should honestly be in higher tiers. They're really powerful. And that Slowbro scares the crap out of my team. As you can see, I have an Excadrill and a Tyranitar, which both get bought by Slowbro. I mean, Tyranitar can take it, but even so, that Amoonguss is scary too. So he leads with his Registeel, and I decided to send in Tapu Koko. I saw he has no ground type, so it's 3 Volt Switches for me, so I just get my first one off straight away. No Life Orb for me because I am Specs, which is great, and that does quite a good amount of damage to the Registeel there. He goes for an Earthquake, I send in my Introvert. We are eating Earthquakes for days with this fat Tangrowth. Please use Tangrowth. It would make me so happy if more people used this in OU. It's so good. As you can see, that I went for Knockoff just to knock off those annoying leftovers, and then proceed to go for Leech Seed after taking a Stealth Rock. For some weird reason, this Registeel goes for Counter, as if I'm not going to go for Knockoff twice. It's already done what it needs to do. I decided to switch into Roly-Mo here. I figured I can just Rapid Spin my rocks away, but no, my opponent makes a great play and switches into Entei for the Tangrowth, which scares my Roly-Mo too, so I say nope, come on Latios, come on in, you can take a Sacred Fire pretty comfortably. But I say comfortably, look at that damage, and then he gets the burn. So Latios is pretty much crippled for the whole game now, but it turns out Latios stays around a long time. I decide here, I go for Draco Meteor. I just think, screw it, if Latios is going down, because if the Entei wasn't Choice Banded and didn't have, if it had E-Speed, then it would go down anyway, so I thought, screw it, I'll go for Draco Meteor, but luckily I survive. I switch into Roly-Mo here to take an Iron Head from the Registeel. I figured now I can Rapid Spin my rocks away. He probably won't go into Entei, but even if he does, it's a free Rapid Spin for me. I eat up this Earthquake because Registeel is weak as hell, and I fire my own Earthquake back and take out a Registeel. So that's my first opponent's Pokemon down, which is great for me. Unfortunately, he sends in Slowbro, but doesn't take an Earthquake too nicely, and predicts the switch, because who the hell stays in with Excadrill against a Slowbro, am I right? I am that guy. I then fire off an Iron Head. I get a crit, which is pretty nice. It doesn't matter too much in the long run because Slowbro has Regenerator and he just switches out and gets all the health back anyway. But I lose my Excadrill there. I just didn't want to take a Scald. This thing is too scary. But I do get a free switch into Tapu Koko, and I can just go for Volt Switch again, which I proceed to do now. He switches in Amoonguss, which eats up the Volt Switch nicely, but honestly, I don't want to stay in with Tapu Koko anyway. And I decide now's a good time to go into Latios. Unfortunately, takes some burn damage, but a Psychic is pretty threatening, or a Draco Meteor. As you can see, that did a butt ton. Honestly, I thought the Amoonguss would switch, predicting a Psychic type move, possibly into the Slowbro or the Mew, but no, he stayed in and Synthesized up, which was very annoying. I decided, screw it, I'm going to keep my Latios. I can live one more round of burn damage, and there's no rocks left, so I might as well keep it just for like a tiny bit of a glass cannon, and I decided, screw it, I'll set up the stand with my Tyranitar. I go for Crunch on this Slowbro, as you can see there, that did not do as much as I thought it would do. And luckily don't get burnt by a Scald there, thank God for that. If this Slowbro had burnt my Tyranitar, this game would have been over very quickly. I decided to switch into Tangrowth here, possibly predicting a Scald or a switch into that Amoonguss. And I do get the switch correctly predicted. Unfortunately, Tangrowth can't do anything really against Amoonguss because it's immune to Leech Seed, and that's what Tangrowth likes to do. So I decided, screw it, I'll go into Metagross, my Kit Fister, predicting the poison type move. As you can see, that was a clutch switch because now I can go for a fat ass Zen Headbutt against whatever comes in. It's a Mega Metagross, so this is still going to do a lot no matter what comes in. He decides to choose his Slowbro to suffer the Zen Headbutt. It actually only does 17%, which made me sad, but hey, we have Meteor Mash, and that still does nothing. This Metagross is just getting destroyed. Luckily for me, my opponent, I'm guessing, predicted a switch because he goes for a Side Shock, which did nothing to me. I then switch out because I can't do anything. I go into Introvert. Even if the Scald does come my way, it won't be the end of the world. My opponent just slacks off. But I do knock off these leftovers now, which is pretty clutch because it means that the Regenerator is the only thing giving Slowbro his health back, and the slack off, but as you can see there, it doesn't matter. I get a crit Giga Drain, get out Slowbro, that's great for me. Now my Metagross can almost wreck shop. Unfortunately, he does bring in Entei, but I figured, screw it. We're especially defensive Tyranitar, but I think we can eat a Sacred Fire. We do, praying for no burn. He doesn't get a burn. It's a 50% chance. I felt kind of bad for this guy because he, later in the game, he goes for another one and doesn't get the burn. This T-Tar just dodges burns for days. But you can see there, I fire off a Stone Edge on whatever comes in. That does a good amount of damage. Thank you, Despotar. That's what I needed. And as you can see there, because we are specially defensive, we eat up a Giga Drain like it was nothing. That was a little snack in the afternoon for me. That was beautiful. Just give me more of that, please, Amoonguss. Unfortunately, we missed our Dragon Tail, which sucks, but I thought, screw it, I'll just set up the Stealth Rocks and then go for Dragon Tail after, as my opponent just spores my Despotar. But honestly, this thing is the fattest thing on my team. If anything's going to be asleep and just take hits, I want my T-Tar to be that. And so I can't do anything, unfortunately, with my T-Tar once it's asleep, but I decided this is a good switch in for Metagross. I can go for Zen Headbutt. All he has now to take a Zen Headbutt is that Mew, but I have Bullet Punch and I have Meteor Mash, and this Mew can't really hit back with anything unless it carries Shadow Ball. In case he did carry Shadow Ball, I switched into T-Tar, but this Mew actually goes for Flamethrower, which is even better for me. That does 5% to my special T-Tar. And despite me being asleep, this Mew cannot touch me, so I can just stay in and get leftovers back and just hit people with Sandstorm damage. He takes this opportunity to switch into Entei. I'm not really sure why he did that unless he was banded. I know Entei doesn't get Earthquake, so I was kind of praying for no Bulldoze. He just goes for Sacred Fire, but honestly, I can't get burnt now. I'm asleep, so still you're not burning my T-Tar, bro. And as you can see, the leftovers is actually slightly nullifying the Sacred Fire, which means that 2 will not take me out. And then I wake up, fire up a Stone Edge, get out of my face, Entei, and we are still here with a 7% T-Tar. Keep in mind my Latios is still alive too. I still have that Glass Cannon in the back in case the Amoonguss causes too many problems. He then brings in Mew. We eat a Volt Switch. This T-Tar is so good. I can't believe that it managed to eat that up. It is so especially bulky. And we fire off a Crunch as the Mew Volt Switches into Amoonguss. Now, Amoonguss is annoying, a Giga Drain will destroy my face, so I figured screw it, I'll keep T-Tar, keep the Sand, and go into Metagross. As he goes for a Giga Drain, that does nothing to me, and now I can almost go for Zen Headbutt for the win, because the Mew is at a point where a Zen Headbutt would probably take it out regardless of whether it was super effective or not. But no, he stays in, lets his Amoonguss go down, brings in Mew, but nah fam, I have Bullet Punch, Tough Claws Bullet Punch will take this Mew out, no problems. So it's all looking pretty for me. All he has left is a Thundurus, but it's taken rocks damage. He goes for Thunder Wave using that Prankster as I go for Ice Punch and destroy the Thundurus. Yes, I run Ice Punch on my Metagross specifically for flying types like that Thundurus. So that's going to wrap up the battle there. If you enjoyed, please show some Bluepaw power to that like button down below. I would really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video coming your way. Have a great day. Peace!